Teleprompters are awesome for recording video without memorizing your lines. But if you've never used one before, you might be wondering what to expect and how you can look your best. I'm Brighton West, and today I'm going to show you how you can look great every time you use a teleprompter. I use a teleprompter every time I record one of these videos. It shows my lines right in front of the camera lens, but the camera doesn't see them. I found that this does a few things for me. One, it cuts down on recording time. I can jump right into my studio, flip on the teleprompter, and nail one of these recordings in 1 or 2 takes. And that cuts down on editing time. My editor doesn't have to cut out stumbling over words in those spots where I totally forget the point I was trying to make. And for me, I found that it makes me look a lot more natural. That's not always the case when people start using a teleprompter, but I found that I blink a lot when I talk extemporaneously to the camera, but not when I'm using a teleprompter. Now I've got 6 tips for you. Number 1, write out your script completely. I had a habit of referring to my show, Subscriber Nation, as SN in my scripts, but when you're reading a teleprompter, you want to write out all those syllables. Same thing with numbers, especially really big numbers. Tip number 2, learn your script. Just because you don't need to memorize your script doesn't mean you don't need to practice. Lots of practice will make it easy to read your script without needing to think about the words, and you'll just be able to skim through the words as you speak them. Tip 3, they say the camera adds 10 pounds. Well, it also takes away 10% of your energy, and if you're reading from a teleprompter, it's even worse. At least the energy part. When reading from a teleprompter, people tend to get really mellow, so take your energy up a couple notches. It might feel strange, but it will look normal. Tip 4, gesture and move. Another thing people tend to do when reading is stop moving. But movement is really important when you're reading from a teleprompter. Your eyes will move back and forth just a little bit, so the more you move your face or your hands, the less the audience will see the movement in your eyes. Number 5, stand far away from the teleprompter. Not so far that you're squinting, but the further away you are, the less your eyes will move back and forth as you read. Here's an example of what it looks like when you're too close. Tip number 6, have someone regulate the speed of the teleprompter. If you're working with a professional, usually there's a person dedicated to working the teleprompter. That person will regulate the speed as you read. You should definitely talk to this person beforehand and practice a bit before the director says, roll camera. My teleprompter uses an iPad and I control the speed with my iPhone. Teleprompters used to be really expensive equipment that only the president and TV news stations could afford. But now there are a number of companies that build adapters to make your iPad work as a teleprompter. So I think these are going to be way more common. The more practice you get, the better you'll be. But follow these 6 tips and you'll look awesome from your first time. If you're using online video in your business, then you should push the subscribe button now. I bring you tips like this every week, and subscribers never miss out on this great content.